Guys, welcome back. Today is day 18. Can you believe it? And we're talking about the bladder and the kidneys again today. And I wanted to show you a little point. Now, if you're pregnant, do not massage this point, but unless you're trying to go into labor. But everybody else, you can try this. It's called Kidney 1. And if you look at the sole of your foot and you take your finger in between that second and third toe, and you go down all the way underneath the ball of your foot. So about right there, if you can see that. It should be like a little zingy point, so you may have to move your finger around a little bit, but it'll be basically between those long tendons between those toes, and you're just going to push in right there, and you can massage this point if you have headaches. Sometimes this can help, or warming the area can help. And it's on both sides. So if you want to try to locate that and just massage your feet a little bit before we start, that's the kidney, where the kidney meridian begins. Actually, it's not where it begins. Yeah, it is where it begins, according to this book that I'm reading. So give that a massage, or if you're ever having a headache, massage it for 2 to 3 minutes, or just apply pressure there. And we're just massaging it right now because we're about to try to tap into those channels to move the energy around to the bladder and the kidney organs. And this is all Chinese medicine, so this is not Western medicine. Just keep that in mind. So a little massage here, and then we're going to come down onto our backs and go into happy baby. For this practice, you may want a strap if you are not able to grab your feet. You'd probably need 2 straps because we're doing happy baby, which means we're grabbing both feet. All right, we'll come down to our back. You can also hold on to your back of your knees if you want. We're going to hug our knees into our chest. And then you can reach through, grab your outsides of your feet, or you can do your peace fingers around your big toes. And then send the heels up to the sky. I like the peace fingers around the toes because it just gives you a little bit more room, a little bit more length. Knees are going to be reaching out wide. And we're just going to relax here. So your low back's kind of pressing into the mat. We're just going to relax. So normally in a yang class, you'd be kicking into your hands and pulling down with your fingers, really activating the muscles in the legs. But in yin, we're going to try to relax the muscles in the legs. So really try to relax so that we can get into the fascia and into the joints. You can use your breath here. If you feel any tension, any pinching, try to use your breath to relax that away. If holding onto your toes is not acceptable or accessible, you can hold onto your ankles or hold onto the backs of your knees. Or you can wrap the strap around the ball of the foot. And try to just stay here in stillness, relaxing the muscles. So here we're targeting that the kidney channel, which runs along the inner aspect of the thighs. So try to relax there. And those meridians, or those channels, are embedded within the fascia. In order to access the fascia and the channels, we have to relax the muscles. That way we can just fully tap into that sweater-like material that just encases everything. If you don't relax the muscles, we end up kind of targeting the muscles more than the channels and the fascia, which is the goal. So you can just imagine your breath going into the inner thighs, the hips, the hip joints. And then see if you can straighten one leg, bend the other, just adding a little yang movement here. Switch to the other side. Maybe you can take a little sway side to side. Maybe try straightening both legs. And then we'll release our feet and let the feet go straight up, straightening the legs. So now we're coming into seagrass. But in order, I feel like for this pose to work the easiest is bring the feet down, coming into a bridge pose setup. Then you'll take a blanket or a block or a bolster, whatever you have, lift the hips and slide that underneath the sacrum. So it's going to be right there, kind of where your buns begin. You don't really want it on the lumbar spine. You want it underneath the bone that it connects to. And then we'll lift the heels up to the sky. So you want that big flat bone to be on the edge of the block. So if you need to move the block further down the mat, then do that. That way you're just barely resting up on that block. When you're barely resting up on that block, then you can relax your belly and you can relax your upper body and just let the legs kind of gently sway on their own. Don't try to sway the legs yourself, but they will move on their own. And you can point the toes and flex the feet. And then just relax here. So they call this seagrass in Yin. And I've actually fallen asleep in this pose before, which is surprising. But if you fully relax and you're just barely using that block, it's possible. You can also do this pose up the wall with your legs up the wall. And that feels really nice as well. Try to relax your belly. Your arms can be alongside your body. They can be out to the side. You can clasp opposite elbows overhead and maybe play around with that and decide where you want your hands to be. And then allow your thoughts to drift. Almost like watching a leaf float along a river. Just there 1 minute and gone the next. And don't try to force yourself to have thoughts. Just if you have blank spaces in your mind, you can just notice those spaces and then notice the impermanence of it as new thoughts arise and fall away. And for this next pose, we'll be coming into snail. If you have any neck problems or disc issues in your neck, or you're an older adult, I would not recommend doing this pose. Or I would just take this variation of legs up the block or legs up the wall, the seagrass pose, or maybe even just bringing the feet a little bit more over your face for this pose. So please listen to your body. Do not turn your head side to side. You have to look straight up for this pose so you don't hurt your neck. So for snail, you can roll your feet over your face, lift your hips up, pointing the toes, kind of coming into a shoulder stand, and then you'll slowly drop your feet down to the ground. Bend the knees alongside the ears. You can keep your hands here on your hips or lower the hands to the ground. We won't be here very long. You can also bring your feet to a bolster or something behind your head if you don't feel like going all the way to the ground. And we're going to slowly come out of this the way we came, just rolling nice and slow, being nice and careful. Bring the feet down, lift the hips up, lower to the ground, extend the legs and arms. Take 3 long, slow breaths. Letting go with each breath. You can try taking pentacle, feet wide, arms wide overhead, and just letting the spine reset here. Fully relax the body from the head to the toes. And stay here for 3 to 5 more minutes. But for time, we'll have to end here. And I hope to see you next time for more yin. See you tomorrow. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.